right. Well, hello everyone. It is exciting times. Episode
Hi.
one. Dean, I should say episode 1.5.
Yes,
But yeah,
we
because we
had a
kind of
dry run yesterday.
yeah, we had. Let me tell you, it was the driest of runs yesterday. So yeah, here we are, finally here. Episode one. Deano and the Dutchman. Here in China.
That's right.
Yeah, we're gonna talk you through it all. We're gonna discuss some things about China, maybe some differences. We're gonna discuss some things maybe that we miss about South Africa. Yeah, we're gonna just see. I mean, I think if people have questions, Dean, I think they can post them wherever,
Yeah,
and then
send
we'll
them in
be.
the comment section and we'll be
Mm,
glad to answer anything that you have. Maybe you're thinking of coming to teach in China, or
mm,
you have
mm,
friends here that you
mm,
want to know more about China and you want
mm,
to speak to them about it. Yeah,
mm,
let us know. We can certainly help you out and
yeah.
put it in the comment section.
Absolutely, yeah. And even if you like comment on our Facebook pages or our Twitter, which I'm not a great video editor, but I'm sure I can manage to put the Twitters just here, just down there. Okay, so yeah, so you can go ahead and tweet us your questions if you have questions, comment on our Facebooks or whatever. Yeah, I think this could just be a lot of fun. You can find out about from some people that have been here for quite a while and see how they're doing and
Yes,
get feedback.
some longer than others.
Yeah.
How long have you been in China now, Jack? So maybe 5 years?
I'm going on 6 now. I'm about yeah, I'm about 3 months away from 6 years. 6 years.
That's impressive. You're in it for the long run. I like that.
Yes, and six is a lucky number, so that's okay. So once it's 6 years,
Yes.
it'll be good.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the thing with expats here in China is a lot of people when they hear, oh, you're teaching in China or you're an English teacher in China,
Mm,
they assume you're taking a gap year. But, this
mm,
is my third year here. It's you're in your sixth year.
mm,
This is a long-term thing that we've committed to. I know I'm committed to staying a bit longer as well. You've laid down solid roots there,
mm,
so very much so. It's not just a case of, oh, we're here on a gap year. We're here to find ourselves. We're here to explore ourselves and find
mm,
Asia. It's the
mm,
most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Some people do that, but I
mm.
think generally the people that I've met here are it's a career move. They're in it for the long run.
Yeah, I think especially recently it's become more like that in my company at least. I think I have to agree with you that more people are coming and staying.
Mm.
Uh, when I first started back in 2014, we had a lot of 1 year people. They come here for 1 year, do a year, oh, it's
Yes.
fun, let me go home. Just
Yeah.
like a gap year or something like that. But because of China's more stringent visa policies and stuff, you have to have 2 years of experience in another country before you can come over, which means no one's going to do 2 years of teaching in South Africa and then just come here for a year. That doesn't make any sense. So then they come
No.
for a long,
Yeah.
yeah, they come for a long run.
Absolutely.
But Dean, I think the question on most people's minds, when you think about working in a foreign place, is why the hell would you choose China? Why the
Of
hell would
all
you,
the places in the
of
world.
all the places in the world? I know the last school that I worked at in South Africa, when I started talking to people and I said I was going to go to China, that was the most common question. They were like, why the hell would you go to China? I mean, there's South Korea, there's Thailand.
Yeah.
I mean, a place that you've been, the Middle East, Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi, yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
mean, that's the
exactly.
thing. So
Mm,
China was never
mm,
my first choice. I spent a year in Abu Dhabi,
mm,
and there were parts of Abu Dhabi that I missed. There are parts of Abu
mm,
Dhabi that were better than China, but generally the China experience has just been
mm,
a whole lot better and has worked out a whole lot better for me personally.
mm, mm,
Some people might be the other way around. I've heard of people going from China to the Middle East and enjoying it more. But for me personally, yeah, the school here, the students here,
mm,
the money here,
mm,
the culture, the food, just everything for me is bigger and better
mm,
than what I experienced in the
mm,
UAE.
mm. Yeah, I just want to make it clear really quickly for our listeners. I know this is a serious moment, but Dean is okay, and it is really him. It's not an apparition. Okay, it's not. He's not fading away. Don't worry. Thanos didn't snap him. He's fine. Yeah.
Well, I thought I would just choose this background because I knew we were going to talk a little bit
Mm,
about, why we,
mm,
decided to come to
mm,
China and stuff
mm,
today. So I chose this background. This is in the city that I live. I live in Xi'an.
mm,
When I came to China, I'd never heard of Xi'an before. I had to look it up on YouTube and, watch some documentaries about it. And most people, if they do know anything about Xi'an, they know the Terracotta Warriors. But there's just so much more to this city
mm,
than just the Terracotta Warriors. This, what you see in the background here, is the bell tower. That's the
mm,
the bell tower and the drum tower look kind of similar, but
mm,
that's definitely the bell tower. And yeah, it's a fantastic place to be, fantastic city, loads of things to do and see.
mm,
You're never bored here, never
mm.
ever bored. And as Xi'an isn't even one of the biggest cities. I mean, Jakes, you live in Beijing.
Mm.
It's probably 5, 6, 7 times bigger than Xi'an.
Yeah.
But still, there's always something to do here in Xi'an.
Mm.
Never bored.
Yeah, no, no doubt. And if I remember correctly, this tower connects to the wall that we cycled around.
It's kind of in the middle of so the wall will surround the city, and
Mm.
the drum and bell tower are in the middle of the city.
Ah.
So yeah, they're not necessarily connected. It's more just sort of in the middle
Mm.
of the city. Actually, I'd come to think of it, this is actually the drum tower.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
that I'm looking at it a bit closer, yeah, it is the drum tower.
Listen, I didn't know, so I don't know if anyone else out there would have known. So yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah. By the way, if you do ever find yourselves in Xi'an, that's a wonderful thing to do, to cycle all the way around the ancient city wall. Don't cycle around the whole Xi'an. I think that'll
No.
take you but around the old city wall, really, really interesting experience, really.
Yeah, amazing. I really loved doing that with you. It was really great. I mean, we did that over a long weekend. I think this is the first, this weekend in China has been a long weekend. It's been
Mm,
a Tomb Sweeping Festival.
mm,
And I think it's the first long weekend that I've had in China here that I haven't traveled.
mm,
I really, China's the sort of country where you have to go out and explore. You can't just go to one city and think that you know China.
mm,
If you've been to Beijing or you've been to Shanghai, you haven't been to China.
mm,
There's so much more to this country to see.
mm, mm,
And I love going out and exploring, but circumstances dictated that this time around, this long weekend,
mm.
I couldn't travel, which kind of sucked. But we've got a few ones coming up, so hopefully I can get to maybe come up to Beijing and see you, Mr.
Mm,
Jakes,
mm,
for
mm.
Dragon Boat Festival, possibly.
That should be wonderful. Yeah, that should be really amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, regarding the traveling around China, I think you've actually done it the smart way. You've kind of done most of your trips on your own. My wife and I have gone on several like package trips that we got on some of the travel websites and stuff, and we've gotten into a little bit of a pattern. All of them are basically the same. That you go temple, eat food, climb a
Yeah.
mountain. Almost
Yeah.
all of
Yeah.
them are temple,
Yeah.
eat food, climb a mountain. Hey? So it's like they all fall into that same kind of pattern. So it's kind of like getting annoying. So I actually want to embrace that a little bit more. To be honest with you, I mean, when I came to visit you, we kind of did our own thing, and we
Yes.
got a lot more out of it. And I think maybe uh, I think if you come to China, I think that's probably a good thing to do if you're brave enough to come to China, is try to find people that you know here and then do it like that. Do your own
Mm.
kind of trip or whatever. Because I think you'll find that those package trips are efficiently put together, or they're put together with efficiency in mind. So they just go fast, show you the nice things, get out of there. That kind of
Yes.
thing. Yeah.
I
Mm,
mean, look, when you first come to China, the one thing that I wasn't really prepared for was
mm,
the language barrier. Having spent that year in Abu Dhabi, where most Emirati people speak English, they have a pretty good command of the English language. Your taxi drivers, your people working in the shops or whatever. Here in China, certainly in places like Xi'an, it's not really that way. You can walk into it, get into a taxi, and the taxi driver won't even know how to say hello to you. You really have to have you say hello, and he's like, Shema, huh? Shema. So,
mm,
you've got to, like you say, you've got to be brave.
mm,
Coming to explore Asia is not for, unless you're doing like a package tour, like you say, you've
mm,
got a tour guide. But if you're on
mm,
your own, you've got to really have your wits about you, because you know, there's only so far that ni hao and xie xie can get you. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, I remember what you're talking about now is absolutely true. In the beginning, when I used to go and get takeaways, not in terms of learning the language, I used to memorize the different questions that they can ask you and memorize the answer. But then what would happen is I would get to a takeaway place and they would ask me the usual questions, and then they would throw a new question in there, and then I'd be like, I don't know, just give me the chicken. I just want the chicken. Just give it to me.
Yeah. If they start asking me questions, I just say like, oh, okay, hold on.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, so they could be saying like, do you want some arsenic with these noodles? And you'll be like, yeah, sure. The more the merrier.
More. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So yeah, no. So that was quite an interesting situation. So, and then in the beginning, I used to like cheat a lot. I'd let people in my office, Chinese people who worked with me, I just let them write me little notes.
That's cheating.
What I wanted to do. So I'd go to the shop and just say, hello, I want this. Yeah.
No.
But then again, the thing is still, that doesn't solve the whole problem, because you know, you still get those people who ask you questions. You're like, I have no idea what the
do you want a bit of spice with that, or do you want to take it away, or do you want to eat it here? You know, these are the things you need to learn very quickly.
Would you like it easy over or sunny side up? You know, I have no idea what you're talking about. Just give me this. I want it. Yeah. I remember I had to go to the bank to get 3 months bank statements for my American visa application. And also same thing, I had to get a little message on my WeChat, and I went and I said, I want this. And she said, and she asked me a question. I was like, no, look, I didn't come prepared for questions.
Just give me this.
Just give me this.
Way out Jagger.
Way out Jagger. Yeah. So yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. So I don't want an argument. Just this is what I want. Yeah. However best you can do it, just do it. Yeah. Yeah.
I see you have a curious cat behind you.
Yeah, we've got the 2 curious cats.
That's not Lucky. Yesterday on our test run, we were talking about Lucky. This one looks a bit like more white and grey than pure black.
But I'm concerned about the mental condition of this one.
Well, it doesn't understand you. You don't have to whisper. I mean,
I'm whispering because I don't want my wife to hear me say that. I'm pretty sure this cat is not okay. She's even from the day that we got her. Someone was about to throw her away, and how can I say? I was busy doing something quite private when Caroline's mom came home with the cat, and so
my mind is wandering. That could be one of 2 things.
Let it wander. Go ahead. And so Caroline's mom came back, and she knocked on the door, and she said, "Come on, help me!" And we had to drop what we were doing, or who we were doing, as it were, and we had to run to the door to get the cat, and the cat was in a horrible condition. We managed to get the cat to the vet and get her injections and everything, and now she's fine, but she has these like little idiosyncrasies. Like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with her left front leg, but she keeps hobbling on the 3 other legs.
That is weird. Yeah,
very strange. and then she will sit, but she has the one left leg, she has it slightly lifted in the air, things like that. And we've tried to touch the leg. There's nothing wrong with the leg. She doesn't get angry or anything. So it's really weird. Yeah.
Cats are weird.
Yeah.
So you need to answer your own question. Why did you decide to come to China? What did you say to your friends when they asked you why China?
Well, the thing is, I mean, me coming to China was a little bit of an accident, actually, because I was actually intending to go anywhere, and my first choice was Thailand. And what happened is I actually went to the travel agency to get prices for tickets and things like that. I was pretty set up for Thailand at that stage, and the travel agent at that point, a very wonderful lady that works at Flight Center, she said to me, her friend had worked in Thailand if I wanted to get the details. And I got the details from the friend. And when I got the details from the friend actually introduced my company, EF, to me. And she said, listen, EF is always looking for teachers here in China. Would you like to give it a try? Would you like to do the interview? I said, yeah, sure. Why not? So yeah, 2 weeks later, Skype interview again with a wonderful recruiter. And the big thing that was the thing that swung it for me was if I had gone to Thailand, it would have been a case of I travel to Thailand, do the TEFL in Thailand, and after that, convert my visa to a work visa and then find a job.
Oh yeah, that's always risky.
So that sounded a little bit dodgy. It didn't sound as dodgy when it was my only option, but when this China option, the company said, "Listen, we take care of your visa. We guarantee you that you have a job before you get on the plane." Things like that. And I said, you know what, this is a no-brainer for me. And I think, like in any job, I've had my days where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is insane. But that's my wife being deliberate, drinking her drink here while I'm trying to have a podcast in peace. She thinks it's hilarious to mess with my little plans and hobbies. So anyway, so that'll be in episode 1 now. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You've met 20 seconds of my wife. There you go. So you can see. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so, but yeah, that was the main thing. And then, I just thought, these people take care of everything. Let's just do it. And they handled everything really, really professionally. And
well, that's always the best advice. Like, I've heard of people who get on the plane without an offer of a job. They come over on tourist visas, and those are the type of people that land up on News 24 or Carte Blanche with their parents crying, saying, "Oh, Mariki's in jail and we can't get her out." Well, I mean, what did you expect was going to happen? So always very important to come over prepared, not sort of just going over and hoping for the best. South Africa is not the sort of country where you need to run away from. I'm still very much in love with South Africa. I go there every year. I just came back a month ago. I go there every year for Chinese New Year. I still very much am in love with South Africa. But, there's a big wide world out there to see, and I'm busy seeing it at the moment. So, there may be a day where I return to South Africa, or there may be a day where I might look at another country. But I'm certainly not one of those expats that sort of go overseas and just bash South Africa at every opportunity that I get. I like to paint a positive picture of South Africa here. And, if Chinese people ask me about South Africa, I will never, ever, lead in with, the crime is terrible, or, it's gone to the dogs. I always start off with, it's the most amazing country, very beautiful, you must come and visit. So, nothing against South Africa at all. And I think that's also a common misconception that because you're an expat, you must have certain feelings towards South Africa. Really not the case at all.
No, I think I could agree with you completely there. I think I could definitely tell you that I didn't run away from crime or anything like that either. I think if I did maybe run away from something a little bit was I was getting a little bit tired of asking kids to sit down and be quiet, because I really wanted to help. I really want to help. That's why I like being a teacher. I really want to show you something that you didn't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I found it so frustrating to try and share what I know with a group of people who were just not interested. The last school I worked at, I don't want to mention the school's name, that's not right. I really struggled. The students really didn't didn't care. And
but I don't think that's necessarily specific to South Africa. I think look, I experienced that in Abu Dhabi. I've heard some horror stories of people in places like England and America as well. Whereas in China, I know I teach at a high school. You teach more at a training center, but my students in the high school are just so very well disciplined. Going to work is actually a pleasure in the morning. So complete opposite of what I experienced in Abu Dhabi.
So no, I know what you mean. So I'm sure it's not an isolated situation. I'm sure you're quite right. So I agree with you completely there. Just to clear up something that Dean just said, I work in a training center, which means I teach adults English. Now my job is where Dean has the ability to, I guess, give students poems and literature for them to analyze. My students are genuinely learning English, as in from zero, from scratch. So yeah, I do a lot of classes on colors and things like that. And it's funny. You think it would be less fun to teach an adult colors than a kid, but actually it's not. It's not true. It's actually it's just as much fun. It's actually because it's also a little bit easier on the teacher because at least you can write and they can read.
Yeah.
So they have the ability to at least understand writing and reading. I have a lot of respect for primary school teachers who teach colors and things like that with no alphabet or no words or whatever the case might be. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, my students are studying to go to America. So they're at the end of their high school, they're going to write their SATs and they have to prepare for their TOEFL exams as well. So it's not like I'm teaching the students like the absolute basics of English. I'm teaching my students the way I would teach home language students in South Africa, home language students in America or England, because that's what they're preparing for. So when people say to me, "Oh, you're going to China to teach English," no, I'm an English teacher that happens to work in China. I think there is a slight, if not subtle, difference there of what people think I'm doing over here in China. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So Dean, I want to ask you a favor. Just hold on one second. Hello, my lovely wife. We want to make this video and post it on the internet later. Okay, so if you keep doing funny things here on the side, then we can't do that. Okay, but I love you. Okay, thank you. I love you.
Just gonna sit here while they sort out their domestic issues.
Sorry. I might leave that part in. It could be funny. Who knows? Yeah, but yeah. But yeah. No, I hear exactly what you're saying. So yeah, I think the students that you typically deal with are at a bit of a higher level in their English speaking, the ones I deal with.
Generally, I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah. So we get students now. In the beginning, when I started out, they don't trust the foreigners to teach the lower levels. So they start as an intermediate. Now, an intermediate student can hold a basic conversation. But if you go too deep into a specific topic, they won't be able to stay with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then but later on, as you stay on, maybe around your second year, they will allow you to teach beginner and elementary, and that's, to be honest, where I have the most fun, because after a beginner class, it's very easy to see improvement. They can describe the color of their shirt, and elementary class they could compare animals to each other and things like that. Yeah, so it's pretty cool, that part. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, interesting times. So I think it's important to just clarify that our podcasts are not necessarily.
Yeah, mother-in-law just came back with one of the dogs. Yes, that is what just happened. Yes, you are right.
Our podcasts are not necessarily going to be focused only on China. We're going to be covering a very wide range of topics. So you're not going to hear us. There's going to be many podcasts where we won't even mention the word China. Something for everyone, I hope. Oh, Caroline is such a good dancer.
Yes, it's all gone awry now. It's all gone awry. I was trying. I did the hair. I did the shirt. I did everything was fine, and then now it's all gone awry. So
well, maybe we should wrap it up then.
Yeah.
So that's
there it is. Yeah, that's as good. That's pretty much.
That's our cue to wrap it up.
That's our cue.
But our next few podcasts, I'm sure, are going to be interesting and exciting. So yeah, keep watching, keep listening, and let us know what you think. If there's any feedback, we'd love to hear from you guys.
Exactly, and just to add to what Dean just said, I think also our podcasts are not going to try to be professional or anything like that, like noises on the side and things like that. We're going to try to avoid things like that. It's going to be difficult, but we're going to try. So yeah, please don't judge us too harshly on those things. We are doing it from our homes. Now, Dean is, I want to say, lucky that he has no one else in his home, but I unfortunately
rub
have
it in.
My lovely wife and my mother-in-law and 2 bull terriers and 2 cats. So there you go. So that should make it much more interesting. Okay.
Great.
Dean, jy moet lekker slaap. I hope you have a good night. Speak to you soon, buddy. And to all the people out there, I'll see you later.
Zaijian. Bye-bye.
All right. Cheers.